This is a tire test you have never seen before. We've got a set of all-terrain tires, we've got a two-door Jeep Wrangler, and we're doing the ultimate heavy-duty truck pull. That's right, we've got our 9,000-pound Ram 2500 Cummins. We're hooking it up to the two-door Jeep and then doing a drag up a hill to see which tire is best. All right, let's talk about our testing procedure today. So we are here at Tumbleweed Ranch on a 12-degree slope. Now this slope is covered in a very loose, almost sandy material with little bits of grass mixed in. And we are here at the fence line going to accelerate up this 12-degree slope to those jerry cans at the top. And of course, we're gonna be towing the Cummins. Now we're gonna use a kinetic rope for this to save a little bit of strain on both vehicles. I'm gonna hook this up to one of the recovery points on the front end of our Ram 2500 Cummins. This is this AEV bumper, which is super big and beefy. It also adds quite a bit of weight. Now we're doing some math. This truck from the factory weighs about 7,700 pounds, but that's with the stock wheels and the stock bumpers and the stock suspension. This thing has a lot of kit on it, including the 16,500-pound winch, the AEV bumpers, the BDS suspension, 37-inch tall tires. I mean, all that adds up pretty quickly. So we're somewhere around 9,000 pounds with this setup. Now these tires that come on the stock base sport Wranglers are very affordable. It's a very cheap setup. They're also very small relative to what the Wrangler can handle. They kind of look undersized, but it will be a really good baseline to see how a standard all-season performs. Now let me go ahead and start up this Jeep. This is a two-door Sport with the hardtop and basically no other options. We still have manual windows. So this is a pretty lightweight configuration of Wrangler. It doesn't have a locker. It doesn't have an LSD. It's got open diffs. It does have four-wheel drive with a low range. So I'm going to stick this Jeep into neutral and we're going to engage four-wheel drive low. Make sure that's engaged, auto park disabled, and I'm gonna try my best to accelerate up the hill with this massive truck behind us. All right, Jen, you want to let off the brakes? We're going to make sure we are completely slacked, completely taut, I should say. And it's already starting to tug us backwards. Perfect, Jen. So I'm going to accelerate very shortly, and we're going to see how long it takes to get to the top of the hill. Are you ready, buddy?
Ready.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Jeep. Come on. Don't want to get too much axle hop here. I just got the transmission in drive. Oh, it's working pretty hard. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. It's working it. Come on. That's full throttle. Come on. Everything you got. Come on, Jeep. Come on. Come on, Nexens. Oh, man. It's almost to the top, but it's pretty hard. It's struggling. All right, let me try putting it into first gear, manually locking it into first gear. Gotta get the truck past the finish cones or it's a fail. Jen, we're stuck!
Yeah, I don't think we quite made it. Let's on the brake.
All right, let's go ahead and back it down. I want to try it one more time, trying something different from the beginning. Let's see if we can get it through that, okay? So this time, still low range, but I'm manually gonna select first gear with the transmission so it's not trying to shift. First gear engaged. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Trying to maintain consistent contact with the ground. Don't want to be a hooligan on this. Trying to build up just a little bit of momentum. There we go. There we go. That's better. There we go. Come on, Jeep. Come on. All the way up. Come on. Get that ram up. Get that ram up. Come on, baby. Come on, Pentastar V6. Oh, and she's up. So I did get the Ram and the Wrangler to the top of the hill. It took first gear and more gentle throttle application, but we were able to do it. And Gavin, what was that time?
25.5 seconds.
Wow, so almost 26 seconds to go. Not a very far distance. That goes to show how loose the surface is. And it also goes to show how there's not a lot of grip in these base all-season tires. Not a lot of forward grip. We've experienced these off-road on Kelly Flats. Not a lot of lateral grip either. So I definitely think we can improve on these. Let's go to our first all-terrain tire. Next up, we have the tire that won our snow comparison. Now, if you haven't seen it, we took 3 all-terrains and compared them in acceleration and braking in snowy environments, and these tires were great performers. This is the Firestone Destination XT. It's a 3-peak snow-rated tire, and it is an older all-terrain compared to the other 2 we'll be testing, but it is a good, solid, reliable choice for a fairly affordable price. Now, in case you're wondering, we aired these tires up to 36 PSI, which is the factory recommended tire pressure for this Jeep Wrangler Sport. You're probably wondering, why not air them down? Well, every manufacturer has a different claim about airing down. BFG says one thing, Firestone says another thing. So what we decided to do is run them at the factory PSI in which all 3 tires were certainly engineered for. So we're running at 36 PSI. Now we're going to run the same test on these Firestone Destination XTs. You might notice these tires are a little bigger. We're running a 285/70 R17, which is quite a bit bigger than the Nexen we were running earlier. The reason we're doing this is because the Nexens looked goofy, and this is the stock tire size for a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. So from here on out, all 3 tires are going to be the same load range rating, and they're all going to be the same size, 285/70 R17. So let's go hitch them up to the truck and see what happens. All right, next test with the Firestones. Now these tires have been very impressive. They are good value. They don't look quite as cool as the Falken or the BFGoodrich KO3 we're going to be testing next, but very impressed with their on-road livability and their snow performance. And we're going to see what their off-road traction is like today as well. So back into low range, in neutral, into drive. Let me go into first gear. Hey, Jen, you want to let off the brake?
Ready.
All right, we're going to see how these Firestones do. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Jeep. Come on, dig, Jeep, dig. Oh, better performance off the bat. Trying to maintain traction with the ground. Trying to stay in the same ruts we were just in. Come on, Jeep. Let's see what you got. Come on. Come on, Start. Let's do it. Got to get the ram through the finishing gates. Trying to torque me to the right and to the left, and we are through there. Wow. All right, so Gavin, what's the result with the Firestones?
19.76 seconds.
Wow, so we're looking at a 5-6 second difference compared to the Nexen all season. These all-terrains had a lot more forward bite. They were much more in control than the Nexens, and we saw that in a significant reduction in time. Not bad, Firestones. Let's go to the BFGs next. Now we are using our Thor's lightning fast air compressor kit to actually air up and down these tires as needed to get them to the exact correct PSI for our testing. What's cool about this is we can actually air up or air down all 4 at the same time to really dial them in. This is really cool. Folks, next up we've got the BFGoodrich All-Terrain KO3. Now this is probably the most highly anticipated tire of the year. The KO was introduced back in the late 1990s and lasted through 2014, one of the most loved tires in off-road history, then the KO2 for the last 10 years. And now we're on the 3rd generation of the KO3. Now BFGoodrich has prioritized traction, toughness, and tread wear, and they say that this tire is better, especially in loose gravel situations where the old one would have a tendency to chunk. They performed extremely well in the snow all around, and I'm really excited to see how they'll do with the heavy-duty truck pull. It's so crazy to feel the weight of that truck just dragging me down this hill. You know, 12 degrees doesn't sound that steep, but in person with the looseness of this terrain and that truck just dragging me back, it's quite a lot. Now, folks, I know we're going to get some comments, and I will be the first to tell you this is not the end-all, be-all in scientific testing. There's a lot of variables here. The terrain might change a little bit. I'm trying to be consistent with throttle application, but that's probably changing a little bit, so it certainly isn't the most scientific test out there, but it is a really cool experiment. The BFG KO3, I'm really excited to see how this tire works. Low range, first gear. This is a really cool looking tire. I love the white walls. By the way, very regional thing. Certain parts of the country, they were telling me love white walls, the white lettering out, I should say. Other parts really like black lettering out. Like the southeast, very popular to have white letters out. California, you'll never see it. At least that's what the product guy was telling me at BFG, but it's really cool to have that option. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Jeep. Oh, man. Quite a bit of forward bite on these KO3s at Pentastar. working pretty hard trying to maintain traction on the surface. It's not always as easy as it looks, so come on, BFG, let's see what you got. Come on, bring that ram up. There we go. Woo! Good result. Lots of forward traction there, a lot of forward bite. Probably a little too hard on the throttle right off the line, backed off a little bit, and then we had a nice consistent run up the hill. Man, this really is a pretty torquey little engine, by the way. This Pentastar V6, nearly 300 pound-feet of torque, or okay, 280, but it's quite a lot. And in these little Jeeps, even pulling that huge truck, you get a lot of grunt out of these V6s. It's pretty impressive. All right, so Gavin's here with the time on the BFGoodrich. Gavin, how'd we do?
The KO3s did very well. 19.15 seconds.
All right, so just under a second faster than what we saw with the Firestone. So very consistent testing when we compared the BFGoodrich to the Firestone. Yeah, really interesting to see that result. Forward grip felt a little bit stronger on the BFG, but clearly not that difference in terms of time. Very impressive though that this little Jeep with these tires is able to pull up that huge truck. So we got one more tire to go. This is gonna be the most interesting one. We got the Falken Wildpeak AT4W, and that's gonna be kind of the wild card in this test, and I'll explain to you why. And now for the big boys of this test, the Falken Wildpeak AT4Ws. These are the tallest, the widest, and the heaviest, even though they are the same size on paper. Now, we struggled with these tires a lot in the snow. Let me show you what happened when we tried all three of these all-terrains in the winter test. 30 miles an hour in the Wildpeak. Wow, kind of a lot of slip just trying to get up to 30 there. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, there's 30 miles an hour, hovering at 30, straighten the Jeep out, and hard on the brakes. Everything I got. We just blew past the BFG cone. Still hard on the brakes. Wow.
Cool, that was bad.
That might be double the distance, Case.
Yeah, it's a big difference. That was 177 and 10 inches.
Wow, so almost 100 feet more at 30 miles an hour than the KO3.
Yeah, it was a huge difference.
Unreal. Traction on, four-wheel drive, just like the BFGoodrich in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, a lot more slip right off the line. I'm gonna have to minimize my throttle position here. Come on, still slipping, still getting traction control intervention, a lot more sideways wiggle. I'm not able to use nearly enough as much throttle. There we go. All right, Case, what was the time?
14.35.
So we're looking at nearly a 4-second difference on this little uphill test course.
Yeah, like 3.5.
So this is a redemption possibility for the AT4Ws. Now, after that poor result, we did contact Falken and ask, do these tires need a break-in? They said no, they should be ready to go right out of the box. Now, some of the cool things about these tires, really, really, really thick, heavy 3-ply sidewall, which is very, very cool. Also, big lugs on these tires, so they should do pretty well out in the dirt. Come on, Falcons, this is your redemption from the snow performance. 4-wheel drive low. First gear, we're ready to do this. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Falcons, come on, let's get some momentum going. Come on, baby, come on, dig, pretty good. All right, now we got some good momentum going. Come on, Jeep. Oh, it's fucking, we got a fucking Bronco here. Come on, Jeep, let's do this. Come on, truck, and across the line. All right, Gavin, time for the Falcons.
18.43 seconds.
Wow, okay, so we're under 19, so interesting result. On the Nexens, we were in the mid-20s, 25. With the Firestone, high 19s. With the BFGoodrich, we were in the low 19s, and now with the Falcons, we are in the 18s. So we saw a steady improvement. Goes to show that snow performance doesn't necessarily equate with off-road performance, and these heavy, tough Falcons were the best on the hill climb. Result time! First up, the Nexen, the all-season. Didn't perform very well, but it was so cool to see the difference between the all-season and the all-terrains when it came to performance. Now, when we compare the other three, they were within a second or two of each other. That really is margin of error, folks. I may not have accelerated evenly, it may have been slightly different terrain, so in terms of performance, in terms of uphill grip, they all performed exceedingly well. So for me, it's gonna come down to the cheapest tire, and ultimately the quickest tire, which is the Falken Wildpeak AT4W. Total redemption for this tire from an off-road standpoint. It looks great, great sidewall, and really good off-road performance. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This has been Tommy, Alex, Jen in the truck, and Gavin helping out. We'll see you next time.